Last week, when I was still on the air, and in all the weeks prior to that, when I was on the air, all 16 of them, my overarching point was the clear and present danger and existential threat Donald Trump presents to this nation and its democracy. Thus, we spent a goodly amount of time addressing the Orange Traitors' further descent into dictatorial fascism. And this is nothing new. Trump has made his admiration for dictators from day one of his treacherous presidency clear as glass. And the reason for that fondness is that Trump wants to be just like them and wield the power they do. I mean, you don't take the word of a Russian dictator over your own intelligence community unless you admire that dictator and want to be that dictator.
With that being said, all I can do is ask the question. My people came to me, Dan Coates came to me, and some others. They said they think it's Russia. I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be. So I have great confidence in my intelligence people, but I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today.
And of course, when I saw this lily-livered, yellow-bellied, sap-sucking, dictator-worshipping coward and traitor grovel and cower at Putin's feet, my first thought was PP tape, and I wasn't alone. And let's be honest, after watching this Orange Traitor's immature and childish rants for the past 8 years, does anyone honestly believe he's not infantile and crude and maturity stunted enough to have done this? Really? Trump knows better than anyone else what his friends and attorneys and snowflakes have in common. When you pee on them, they disappear. And that reminds me, you know why William Shakespeare stopped at the bathroom door? He couldn't decide whether to pee or not to pee. And you know something I've never understood? Why guys wash their hands after they pee. Maybe it's just me, but I'm so conceited, I wash my hands before I pee. Respect. And I got to tell you, I've been yelled at over peeing as much as I have maybe anything else in my entire life. I once peed on the side of a bowl so it wouldn't make any noise. They immediately yelled at me and kicked me out of the restaurant. My ex-wife once yelled at me for peeing in the shower. I probably should have waited till she got out first. I also got kicked out of a pool once for peeing in it. I said, "What's the big deal? Everybody pees in the pool." And they said, "Yeah, but not from the diving board." And then this orange pus gut is actually stupid enough to talk about the PP tape at one of his Clandemic rallies. But did you hear his brain-dead MAGA cult base in the audience? For the first time in our nation's history, perhaps any nation's history, a former disgraced president and current presidential candidate brings up golden showers in a campaign speech, and they applauded. For what? For what exactly were they applauding? Not because they think it didn't happen. I don't think they care one way or another. If such a tape were ever released, do you think they'd look at Trump and say, "You're in trouble"? Of course they wouldn't. First, their media would find a way to put a positive spin on it, like, "It wasn't Trump in the video. Trump is so funny, tears were running down the hooker's legs. Obama deserved to have a bed he slept on, or slept in, peed on." I mean, whatever. They'd come up with something. Second, in my view, they applauded for the same reason they do whenever Trump swears in a campaign speech. They are there for the crudeness and ignorance. They are there for the childish, immature language and behavior. Need more proof? Voila.
That Chris Christie, a guy shouts out, "He's a fat pig." Now he shouted out, "Chris Christie is a fat pig." Then they shouted out, "Bill Barr is a fat pig. He's a slob. He's a fat pig." You're not allowed to use the word fat. You're not allowed to say that. So they say, Bill Barr, sir, he's a fat pig. And I say, listen, Bill Barr is not a fat pig. Chris Christie is not a fat pig, sir.
The blatantly obvious pot kettle analogy aside, what does it tell you that a motley bunch of ignorant losers will sit and listen to an obese man childishly repeat the phrase fat pig over and over again and not only laugh, but remain convinced this repulsive man baby should be the president of not only them, I mean, he's perfect for them, but for the entire country as well? Problem is, like Trump, they don't think any further ahead than the moment they're in. Shallow, ignorant losers who have no problem inflicting theirs and Trump's mind-numbing, self-destructive poison on the rest of the nation. And don't forget, this is the same orange hemorrhoid that said Putin's invasion of Ukraine was both savvy and genius.